Hey guys, welcome back to Broke Boys Armory. We're back at you with another video about basics, but today we're going to gear towards what two guns do you need to start off your hunting journey. Let's say you've never really hunted before and you're not sure where to start. Well, the number one gun to start would be a 12 gauge shotgun or a 20 gauge. Let's say 12 or 20 gauge. What you want to look for in that shotgun is you want to make sure it's pump action, so it could take a variety of loads, whether it be a lighter load or a heavier load. You also want to make sure that it has at least a 24-inch barrel, could be all the way up to 28. Some people say you can get away with 24 to 26 inches, but I feel like the 28 inches will just be a little bit better because when you're, say, if it's your only gun and you're bird hunting or your rabbit or your squirrel hunting, and the shots are maybe a little bit further, you're gonna take a 40 or 50 yard shot, and you want to make sure it's ethical. That 28-inch barrel has more than capable of taking those shots, providing right load and things like that. Next thing up, you want to make sure that the end looks like that and you could replace the choke tubes. Because what a choke tube does is it either tightens your pattern or it widens your pattern. So let's say you're shooting at a target maybe 10 yards away with the 7.5 load. So that's something like this. Shotgun shells come in a variety of form depending on the number. The higher the number, the smaller and more BBs in the shell. The lower the number, the bigger and lower amount of BBs in the shell. So let's say you take the 7.5 shot, common for lighter dove hunting, squirrel hunting, things like that. Take that 7.5 shot, and you shoot a target at 10 yards with a full choke tube at the end on your barrel. That pattern is probably going to look something like this: 8 to 10 inches around. And then you unscrew that choke tube and you put a new choke tube in there, a modified one. Well, that pattern is going to be bigger. It might be 20 inches, 18 inches wide, and you're shooting the same distance and the same load. And all the choke tubes do is they either tighten or widen the pattern. That allows you to, specialize the load with the choke tube for whatever game that you're shooting. You can make it, wider for a shorter range, or you can make it tighter for a longer range, depending on what game you're hunting. You also want to make sure with this gun that you will have a smooth bore. Now, I don't know of any rifle guns that take choke tubes, but just let's say that you don't have one with a choke tube in it. You want to make sure that it's at least smooth bore, which means there's no rifling. There's no spiral cutouts inside the barrel like you would see on different rifles. The reason why you want that is because the reason why you don't want that, because if that shotgun does have that, that means it's limited to one thing: slugs. It's limited to smooth slugs that's the only ammunition that could shoot in that firearm, makes it just a deer gun only. If you have a smooth bore, you could shoot rifled slugs, so you could still shoot the slugs, but you can't shoot them as far. So you say you could take a good shot at 50 to 75 yards. Some people can take shots up to 100 yards with smooth bores with just, bead sights or depending on their sighting system. But with a slug gun, I've seen people take 150, 200-yard shots. But like I said, you can only hunt deer. If you only have one gun, you can take that sacrifice in range, but still have the ability to hunt everything you need to hunt. If you want to know, this gun is a Winchester SXP. It is a 12 gauge, and these guns new run around $400. I really like this gun. I know most people say, Mossberg 500. I own a couple, and Remington at 870. Both are also great options, but this is just another option if you're looking for something. I really like this finish because I kind of trash up this gun and all the mud and everything wipes right off, so I don't have to worry about rusting or anything like that. So let's say, all right, I got my shotgun already. What do I want next? Well, you want to get some sort of bolt action. And I'm going to preface this. You want a bolt action and a little bit heavier of a caliber. So what that's going to do is it's going to broaden your horizons for what you can hunt. So with this is chambered in 7mm Remington Magnum. This is a Browning A-bolt. It's one of the older ones. It's made in the 80s. It's made in Belgium. It's very smooth action. I love this gun. This gun has the ability to take both bear, white-tailed deer, elk, and things like that. So what this does is I can take accurate shots at further distances, and I can also take different types of game. Now, I will sub this out. Let's say you live in a state. Excuse me. Let's say you live in a state where you can't own a center. You can't own a rifle. You can't hunt with a rifle. Then, in that case, it does make sense to get a shotgun, a regular 12 gauge smoothbore shotgun, and a slug gun. But if you do not live in a state, then you don't need to worry about that, because then you might want to have a gun dedicated for a deer or bear or whatever, because sometimes states do not allow you to hunt with a rifle. But for those who do, I highly recommend getting something with a little bit heavier caliber, and it being bolt action, because for multiple reasons it's more accurate. And if you could, so this one doesn't, but you can find bolt actions with threaded barrels. That way you could suppress them, because they are extremely quiet when you suppress them. That way you're not breaking your ears every time you shoot your rifle on your hunt. Okay, guys, so honorable mentions before I let you go are going to be 22 rifles. So it could be like a bolt action 22, very cheap. You can find these from 100 to 150. If you want something a little bit nicer, you can get, a semi-auto. Personally, for my 22 hunting, right now it's this Henry lever action rifle. It's clear. What I use this for is squirrel hunting, basically. That's just about it. But you could use them for squirrel, rabbit, a bunch of different things. Just look in your local state laws. You can use 22 for a lot. The reason why I highly recommend a 22, and it's an honorable mention, is because that you could put a lot of rounds down range with a 22. You get very comfortable with it and become quite the marksman with it. So that will allow you to take game ethically. And, shooting is fun in general. And, it's fun to hit what you're shooting at. So 22, it's a great useful tool if you have the money, if you have the spare funds, or if you have a 22 laying around. Maybe looking at it as a hunting rifle is a very good option. So that's all I got for you guys today. I would say focus on your shotgun first with those key points, then focus on your bolt action, and then after that, if you have the time, if you have the money, I would go ahead and invest in a 22. And that right there, with those three guns, you're kind of got every hunting situation covered. I mean, I can hunt what the goal of this video is to give you guns that you can hunt everything with, and then maybe you'll find something that you really enjoy. Maybe you really enjoy duck hunting. Maybe you really enjoy deer hunting. Maybe you really enjoy turkey hunting. Well, then you can go out and get a gun that's specialized for that type of hunting. So I hope this helps you. I hope your suggestions are at least bring something new across your table. But that's all I got for you today, guys, and I'll talk to you later.